Hi, I'm Rowan.
Hello, I'm Richard.
Hi, I'm Bevan, and we're Glass Vaults.
Me and Richard met at university and started where we did like projects, more theatre-based projects and kind of visual arts projects, and we were always intended to do music. So once we finished university, we started Glass Vaults, or we started like playing around with stuff, and that came together as Vaults in the beginning, and then Glass Vaults. And it's funny because me and Richard actually grew up in the same small town while we were kind of at primary school and stuff, but we were at different primary schools and we never knew each other, and we kind of re-met later.
What small town was that?
On Fielding Manawatu. Yeah. And so we developed these songs and a live set early in 2010, and then recorded them ourselves, and then started working with Bevan, and Bevan was kind of working in a producing role and mixing. Yeah. And it's kind of developed from there.
So who approached who? Like, did you approach Bevan or Bevan approached you? Or?
Ron and I were working together on the theatre piece, and Ron was doing like multimedia, visual, video stuff, and I was doing the sound composing, and we just like worked together. And then I knew that Ron was making music as well, and he was playing little bits and pieces. And then he just came over one day and played me some stuff that he was working on with Richard, and I was like, oh, that's cool, but you should change this and this and this. And then he was like, okay. And then his computer broke, and he was like, oh, my computer broke, I can't do that stuff. And I was like, oh, just give it to me, I'll do it. And that's kind of how it happens.
Yeah, sounds like it.
It didn't break. It did.
I think we were going to make you a video for Sono.
Oh yeah, you were too. That's video, I'm still waiting on that video.
Yeah. we came over to show them the stuff we shot, but while we were away shooting the video, we actually just recorded the EP.
Ah.
and then you're like, is this what you want to do? Is this what you want to work on? And we're like, yeah, that's what we're going to do.
In our first EP, me and Richard, as I said before, kind of wrote the songs and stuff, and then Bevan came along in a producing role. And for this next EP that's coming out into Claire, where it was really good to like spend more time with Bevan. So me and Richard would write the songs and kind of practice and jam, and the songs would come out of that, often with Richard coming in with pretty specific like vocals or even melodies, and then we'd kind of work around that. And then, but we had the extra bonus, or it was real awesome to work with Bevan, and even in structuring, like we'd take the song structure and he'd give us advice on what the song structure would be and stuff, and then also in a producing role, which is real great in terms of like sculpting the sound that we want, and kind of really pushing the different sounds and the sound of each instrument and stuff like that, and experimenting with that kind of stuff. It's real good.
And I think that for this one especially, there was heaps more trust, and we were really comfortable with giving it to Bevan, and so to say play, not really giving any direction, I think, and it was cool to just fully trust him and see what he came up with, and then kind of go from there. And I think that's kind of what happened. There wasn't even that much back and forth, really. It was a little bit, but
I always feel like the songs are pretty. There's like a sound to the tracks when they're given to me, even though they're kind of rough. In some ways, there's quite a distinct kind of sound they want to have, and I just enhance it. I don't really feel like I do that much.
Feels like
Just enhancing what's there already, kind of.
for me, I think the live show and the recorded stuff is a completely different thing, and so they start from a live perspective anyway. We don't start with them in the computer. We start with them in the rehearsal room, and we develop sounds through that way. And then for me, it's not really. I don't really care to try and replicate the recorded work anyway. I mean, it kind of. Yeah, for me, I guess they are completely different things, and it is nice to develop them apart from that.
it's not as fun to try and just replicate something. It's like to be a bit more lucid in the like sections of the song, and know there's certain sections and what points you need to hit, but then be quite like lucid in between within those parameters. It's real. Totally. It's way more enjoyable.
And like every space every space has its own production and its own sounds, and you can't kind of predetermine the the reverb of the space essentially.
Yeah, it's definitely love adapting to a space. Like if we play somewhere quiet and people have been quiet, we'll just play enjoy playing really quietly as possible. And then if there's like a big reverb in a space, then like to kind of work around that. It's always like different.
Yeah.
And more enjoyable for it.
Yeah, I think so. With this last EP we've been working on, we worked on it for a long time, and it got to the point where we kind of had to decide when we're going to finish working on the tracks, because I could have really mixed them for even longer than I mixed them for, and spent kind of a couple of months mixing. So we had to decide kind of to abandon them at some point, and especially with I think Gold Star was the one that I found real hard, and even the vinyl release has a mix that we sent off for that, and I wasn't quite happy with that, so I had to tweak it a little bit. So the MP3 mix is slightly different, so I don't know if people will notice that, but yeah, it was a case of just I could probably still work on it now. I think I seem to have developed quite a high threshold for working on stuff.
We've got a week to finish it before it comes out.
Yeah, deadline.
No, I think
up to the deadline.
And also like because we still play songs off that first EP, and but I think they're totally different from what we played them. We used to play them or how they sound on the record, which is real fun. Even introducing kind of small new melodies underneath things, and like making, because otherwise it just gets so boring playing the same song over and over. So if you can just keep kind of reworking it shifts as we shift, I guess, as we go along. It's real good.
We had the Glass EP, which was brought out in 2010, and that was we bought it to put it out digitally just for a free download. And a couple of months, and we got some blog attention and stuff, and an American label, Jukeboxer, emailed us and just said he's been wanting this. Just a kind of dude was like, I've been wanting to start a label for ages, and I think you guys are the perfect first band to put out. And we were like, okay, like sounds cool, and you wanted to put it out on vinyl, and so it was. I know it's pretty like. It's pretty easy. It was nice, and we really wanted to put it out on vinyl, and that happened. And then we were both keen to work with each other again for the new record, and so it's going to go out on vinyl as well. And we'll put this one out on CD as well, and digital also.
So when's the album? When's the EP out?
Interclear is out on the 31st of October. 2011.
Jukebox is run by a guy, Dale, who got in touch with us, and we've kind of just been in touch with since he first got in touch with us, and he's been real supportive of us. We've never been to the States as like a band or anything before, so we've just been Skyping with him, and Skyping and Gmail chat as kind of the main communication. But it's kind of funny because we get a really good vibe from him, I guess, and we really trust him, and it's something that we can do that even through digital media. But yeah, the hopes that, hopefully we'll connect with him at some stage. Like, we're looking at touring next year. We're just kind of tentatively planning around touring the States, and so we can meet kind of Dale and other people that we've kind of been in touch with over the interwebs, and tour and have fun playing shows and meeting our audiences over there, whatever they may be. Yeah.
Thanks for spending some time with us today. We're Glass Vaults. You can get us on the interwebs at glassvaults.com, and hopefully we'll see you at a show soon.
Look out for the vinyl.
Cheers, thanks guys.